There exists a single sentence that has carried more men from poverty into wealth, from obscurity into influence, from hopelessness into triumph, than any other formula I have ever encountered. One sentence. Not a book, not a lecture, not a system, just a line of words so powerful that when repeated with faith, it has remade lives entirely. You may doubt me already. You may whisper, how could one sentence possibly change the whole direction of a month, a year, a lifetime? That is exactly why I will not give it to you this instant. If I spoke it now, you would shrug, call it too simple, and discard the wisdom as you have discarded so many other truths. It would pass through your mind like a breeze through an open window, noticed for a second and forgotten forever. And yet, this sentence is the very key to your breakthrough. If you will hear me patiently, if you will let me build the case, you will not only understand the power of this one line, you will never again live a day without it. Imagine this. 30 days from now, you wake in the same house, the same city, the same body, but everything feels different. The dread of bills that once pressed upon you is gone, for money now seems to move towards you instead of away from you. The tiredness in your mornings is gone, replaced with a strange excitement that surges even before you rise from bed. Your family looks at you differently, not because of what you have yet achieved, but because they feel in you the calm certainty of a man already destined to achieve. All this from a sentence, spoken daily, repeated with faith. It engraves itself upon your subconscious until you cannot help but act in harmony with it. The sentence becomes a magnet, and you, the instrument through which it pulls opportunity, allies, and fortune into your orbit. Let me show you the other side, lest you think this exaggeration. Picture yourself 1 month from now living as you do today without this sentence. The same doubts whispering, the same bills mounting, the same regrets piling like stones upon your chest. Another 30 days gone, stolen by hesitation, wasted by drifting. A whole month lost, never to be returned. That is the cost of ignoring what you are about to hear. I have studied men all my life, and I tell you, the difference between those who rise and those who drift is not luck, not birth, not even education. It is the daily language impressed upon their own minds. The poor speak words of fear, and they reap fear. The rich speak words of definiteness, and they reap wealth. The timid say, I wish. The bold declare, I will. But this sentence, this one formula, is the distillation of every law I have ever written. It is desire made definite, faith spoken aloud, command impressed upon the subconscious, gratitude expressed before evidence. It is the union of all these laws in one breath. That is why it works. That is why men who once wandered aimlessly find themselves suddenly lifted as though unseen hands carried them. I repeat, if I gave it to you too soon, you would sneer at its simplicity. You would mutter, that cannot be all. And in your muttering, you would miss the treasure. That is why I withhold it until you are ready to hear it not as a phrase, but as a command to your destiny. When you hear it, you may laugh at first. But if you obey me, if you write it down, speak it morning and night for the next 30 days, if you hold it until it burns in you, you will look back upon this month as the dividing line of your life, the month when everything changed. One sentence, that is all. And before I finish, it will be yours. Men laugh at simplicity. They expect the keys to fortune to be hidden in great volumes, buried in secret libraries, reserved only for scholars. Yet the greatest laws are always simple. Desire is simple. Faith is simple. Decision is simple. Persistence is simple. And yet because they are simple, men despise them. They drift, searching for complexity, while the keys to riches lie at their feet. One sentence, spoken daily with faith, has the power to bend the subconscious into obedience. This is no exaggeration. Every fortune I have studied, every empire I have witnessed, every triumph I have recorded, was born first in words repeated until they became law. One sentence engraved upon the mind reshapes identity, commands conduct, and directs destiny. Andrew Carnegie understood this law. He drilled definiteness into his men, forcing them to repeat their purposes until hesitation was burned away. He knew that no vague man could lead an industry, and so he demanded they speak boldly what they desired. That repetition created leaders of steel, not only in the mills, but in their own souls. Henry Ford also obeyed this law. He declared his belief in an automobile for the masses long before the world believed him. He repeated it to himself, to his engineers, to his critics. They called him mad, yet his persistence in repeating his vision bent reality itself. The world yielded, and Ford's name became a monument to decisiveness. Affirm this with me. I speak destiny into being with each sentence I repeat. Say it aloud. Repeat it until you believe it. For the mind, once impressed by repetition, cannot resist. It accepts without question, acts without delay, and compels circumstances to obey. Your sentence becomes your identity, and your identity becomes your fate. The tragedy of most men is not lack of opportunity, but contempt for the small daily command of words. They scoff at affirmations. They despise repetition. They call it too easy, too childish, too insignificant. Yet by their neglect they drift. Their subconscious is filled with the language of fear and excuses, and their lives mirror that speech. I have interviewed men broken by poverty. Their words were always the same. I cannot. It is too late. I am unlucky. Others have more. They did not fail by chance. They failed because they repeated failure until it became law. Their tongues commanded poverty, and their lives obeyed. Their prison was not the world, it was their own language. In contrast, I've studied the rich, the successful, the powerful. Their words differ. They declare, I will, I must, I know. They speak definiteness when others drift. They repeat faith when others repeat fear. They engrave success into their subconscious until it drives them like a hidden engine. Their words create their world, and their world obeys. Affirm again, I speak destiny into being with each sentence I repeat. Each word is a seed. Each repetition is water. Each day of persistence is sunshine. Soon the harvest appears, not by miracle, but by law. For the subconscious mind cannot resist constant command. It is the silent servant, always obeying, always creating. This is why one sentence can change everything. Spoken once, it is nothing. Spoken daily, it is power. Spoken with faith, it is law. Spoken with gratitude, it is magnetism. Spoken with persistence, it is destiny. The man who scoffs will drift another month. The man who obeys will see transformation begin at once. Do not underestimate the weight of this truth. I withhold the sentence itself not because it is complex, but because it is simple. If I spoke it now, you might shrug, dismiss it, and forget it. But if you understand first why one sentence can remake your life, then when I give it, you will treasure it as the law of your own destiny. This is the beginning of your breakthrough. One sentence, spoken daily, repeated with faith, engraved into the subconscious, carried into action. It will reshape your identity, command your conduct, and summon riches into your orbit. Treat it not as a phrase, but as law. For law it is, the law by which all fortunes are built.
We have prepared a powerful companion sheet for this one-sentence formula, so you can write it, sign it, and obey it for 30 days. It is available inside our private network for those ready to commit. If you are not yet ready, you may enter our free network and draw from the other resources there.
The subconscious mind is the silent partner of every man's life. It does not reason, it does not argue, it does not distinguish truth from falsehood. It accepts whatever words are spoken to it with repetition and emotion. Every phrase you utter, whether in strength or in weakness, becomes law to this hidden mind. And what the subconscious accepts, life obeys. Understand this well. Every word spoken is a command. When you say, I cannot, your subconscious records it as fact and directs your actions toward failure. When you say, I will, it accepts that as law and drives you forward. The subconscious never questions, it only obeys. Your tongue is the master, your subconscious the servant, and your destiny the result. Edison grasped this truth, whether he called it by name or not. Though he failed thousands of times, he refused to speak the language of defeat. When the world laughed, when critics jeered, when evidence denied him, he still declared, "I will succeed." His subconscious absorbed this as law. It drove him to persist until the light itself burned. The drifting man lives under the curse of careless speech. He mutters to himself, "I am unlucky. I am tired. I am weak. I am poor." He thinks them harmless, yet each is a command. Spoken daily, they engrave themselves upon the subconscious. Soon his actions follow, his opportunities shrink, and his life confirms the words he spoke against himself. The decisive man guards his words with vigilance. He speaks only what he desires to become. He declares, "I am strong, I am confident, I am destined for wealth, I am the master of my fate." At first it may feel strange, but repetition makes it natural. The subconscious accepts it, and once accepted, it bends every action to fulfill it. Affirm this with me. I command riches. I control my mind. I am master of my destiny. Do not whisper it as a hope. Speak it as a decree. For the subconscious responds not to weak wishing, but to firm command. Each repetition engraves the law deeper until your very nature begins to act as though it were already fulfilled. Negative repetition is as powerful as positive, but destructive. I have seen men talk themselves into ruin, not by the blows of life, but by the words of their own tongues. They rehearsed excuses until excuses became their creed. They spoke of poverty until poverty became their companion. They repeated fear until fear became their master. This is why most men drift. They never take command of their language. They leave their subconscious open to every whisper of fear, every murmur of doubt, every careless phrase. And the subconscious, obedient and unquestioning, builds a life to match. They reap not what life denied them, but what their own words demanded. Rockefeller understood this law in his own way. Long before he ruled oil, he carried himself as a master of destiny. His words reflected certainty. His tone radiated confidence. His declarations commanded respect. Rivals could not explain it, but his subconscious had already accepted victory. His life was simply catching up to the law written within. Andrew Carnegie demanded definiteness of his men for the same reason. He knew that vague words created vague lives. He pressed them to speak their aims clearly, boldly, repeatedly. Once their subconscious accepted these commands, hesitation vanished. They became men of steel, not only in industry, but in character. Words forged them before wealth crowned them. Affirm again, I command riches. I control my mind. I am master of my destiny. Say it upon rising. Say it before rest. Say it when doubt whispers. For every repetition deepens the groove upon the subconscious. And once the groove is deep enough, your life runs upon it as surely as water runs in a riverbed. Do you see now why the one sentence I will soon reveal carries such weight? It is not merely a phrase. It is a command to the subconscious, a decree to destiny, a law impressed upon the hidden mind. Spoken daily with gratitude and faith, it engraves itself until your very soul cannot act against it. And once the subconscious obeys, life itself must follow. This is why the rich grow richer and the poor remain poor. The rich speak wealth until their subconscious accepts it, and so they act in harmony with it. The poor speak poverty until their subconscious accepts it, and so they act in harmony with that. Both are obeying the same law. Both reap what they repeat. Affirm once more, I command riches. I control my mind. I am master of my destiny. Make it your habit, your creed, your command. For the subconscious does not argue, it obeys. It does not choose, it receives. It does not doubt, it creates. And whatever you speak to it daily becomes the law of your life. So I tell you plainly, guard your words as you would guard gold. Speak only what you desire. Repeat only what you demand. Engrave only what you wish to reap. For the subconscious, though silent, is the builder of your destiny. And the tongue, though small, is the tool by which you write its commands. This is the reason why one sentence, repeated daily with faith, can change a man's entire life in a single month. Not because the words themselves are magic, but because they are law to the subconscious. And the subconscious, once commanded, bends action, thought, opportunity, and circumstance to fulfill what has been engraved. The law I now unfold to you is one of the most misunderstood in all of life. Men believe they must wait until they hold success in their hands before they can feel gratitude. They say, when riches come, then I shall give thanks. When the position is mine, then I shall rejoice. When I see evidence, then I shall believe this is drifting, and it is error. The truth is exactly the opposite. Gratitude must come before evidence. You must give thanks for the thing you desire as though it were already yours. Speak of it as though attained. Feel it as though present. For by this act you impress the subconscious with certainty. And what the subconscious accepts, it compels life to deliver. This is the secret hidden in the sentence you will soon repeat daily. It joins desire, definiteness, and faith with gratitude spoken in the present tense. The words are not, I hope I shall have. The words are, I am so happy and grateful that I have it now. The difference is destiny itself. One is drifting, the other is command. John D. Rockefeller practiced this spirit. Long before he possessed vast wealth, he carried himself with the calm assurance of a man already entrusted with riches. His gratitude was not postponed until fortune appeared. It was expressed in his conduct, in his confidence, in his words. That gratitude drew allies, opportunities, and the very empire he envisioned. Abraham Lincoln, too, walked in gratitude before evidence. Though mocked, defeated, and scorned, he carried himself as though chosen for a great task. He gave thanks inwardly for the opportunity to serve his nation even before the nation would accept him. That spirit sustained him through defeat after defeat until the day his destiny was revealed. Affirm this with me now. I give thanks for my success before it arrives, and in doing so I draw it nearer. Say it aloud, for gratitude unspoken is weak. Gratitude declared engraves itself deeper into the subconscious. Each repetition bends your mind toward faith, and faith is the only condition under which infinite intelligence answers. Men who wait to feel gratitude until after results appear remain trapped. Their subconscious receives only doubt, for their words are, I do not yet have it. It may never come. These commands engrave hesitation, and hesitation produces drifting. The world reflects their unbelief, and they live forever waiting for a tomorrow that never comes. But the man of faith expresses gratitude before evidence. He declares, I am so happy and grateful that I have my definite aim now. He does not wait for the bank account to swell, for the title to be printed, for the applause to be given. He speaks it as though already attained. His subconscious accepts it as law, and his actions align to fulfill it. Edison's gratitude was seen in his persistence. Each failure was not a reason for despair, but a cause for thanks. He thanked infinite intelligence for revealing another method that did not work, for it brought him one step closer to the method that would. Gratitude kept him alive through thousands of defeats until light conquered darkness. Henry Ford's gratitude was in his certainty. He spoke with thanks for an automobile for the masses long before a single factory proved it possible. He acted as though the world had already yielded. That spirit of gratitude drew the right allies, silenced the critics, and turned ridicule into applause. Gratitude before evidence became empire. Affirm again, I give thanks for my success before it arrives, and in doing so, I draw it nearer. Let this phrase be your daily companion. Write it upon your mirror. Speak it before you sleep. Declare it upon waking. Each repetition engraves certainty deeper until doubt has no room to whisper. Gratitude and doubt cannot live in the same mind. The devil thrives where gratitude is absent. He whispers, "You have nothing. You are unlucky. You are forgotten." The man who listens repeats these lies until they become his law. But gratitude expels the devil. When you say, "I am grateful now," you silence his voice. You declare faith, and faith destroys fear. Gratitude is both shield and sword. I have seen men rise from obscurity by this one practice alone. They began to speak thanks for opportunities unseen, for riches yet unearned, for influence not yet felt. Their tone changed. Their step grew firm. Their eyes shone with certainty. And soon, circumstances bent to match their words. Gratitude before evidence is the magnet of fortune. Do not despise the simplicity of this truth. Most men do. They laugh and say, "How can mere thanks create wealth?" Yet they fail to see that wealth is first created in the mind. Gratitude engraves certainty, and certainty directs conduct, and conduct commands destiny. Every fortune you admire began as an attitude of gratitude long before evidence appeared. Affirm once more, "I give thanks for my success before it arrives, and in doing so, I draw it nearer." Repeat it now, for each repetition weakens doubt. Say it tomorrow, for each repetition strengthens faith. Say it for 30 days, and by the end you will feel the change within. Gratitude spoken daily is faith in action. The formula I shall reveal to you works because it binds desire with gratitude in the present tense. It does not say "I shall have." It says "I have now." That one word, now, bends the subconscious into obedience. It commands immediacy. It directs action. It awakens energy. It drives persistence. And soon, what was spoken becomes seen. This is the third signpost of your breakthrough. Gratitude before evidence. Practice it, and the world will bend to your faith. Neglect it, and you will drift another month, another year, another lifetime. Gratitude is the magnet, and without it you are powerless. With it you are unstoppable. Now that you have seen why words command the subconscious, why repetition engraves law upon the mind, and why gratitude must precede evidence, you are ready for the sentence itself. I give it to you, not as a phrase to be admired, not as poetry to be enjoyed, but as a command to be obeyed. This is the distillation of desire, faith, gratitude, and definiteness in one breath. The sentence is this: I am so happy and grateful that I have the object of my definite chief aim now. Thank God I made it. Do not underestimate it. Do not dismiss it. These words are the essence of all that I have taught. If you will write them, repeat them, and believe them, they will engrave success upon your subconscious and bend your life to match. Notice the first words, I am so happy and grateful. These feelings are the vibration of faith. They declare that what you speak is already yours. Happiness and gratitude are the language of men who believe before they see. They are the only atmosphere in which faith can breathe. Without them, the subconscious doubts. With them, it obeys without question. Then, that I have, not I will have. Not someday it shall be mine, but I have. This is the present tense, and it is the heart of the formula. The subconscious accepts commands as though already fulfilled. If you speak in the future, it delays. If you speak in the present, it acts at once. That is why this sentence bends the mind so quickly. Then, the object of my definite chief aim. Here lies the core. You must know exactly what you desire. Vague wishes produce vague results. Clear aims produce clear outcomes. Andrew Carnegie demanded definiteness of his men for this reason. He knew that without a definite chief aim, their subconscious had nothing to obey. This sentence works only when you have chosen. Then, now. That one word is a hammer blow. It commands immediacy. It engraves urgency. It refuses delay. It declares that the aim is not distant but present. This trains the subconscious to act in harmony with decisiveness. It drives out hesitation, compels courage, and directs all faculties toward present attainment. Now is the word of destiny. And at last, thank God I made it. This is gratitude sealed. It is the exclamation point of faith. It is the man speaking as though already victorious, already delivered, already crowned. And by speaking so, he engraves the feeling of attainment into his subconscious. Gratitude completes the law, for it declares, this is finished. I am already there. Affirm with me. I am so happy and grateful that I have the object of my definite chief aim now. Thank God I made it. Speak it slowly with emotion. Feel the truth of it as though already yours. Each repetition is a stroke upon the mind. Each day of obedience drives it deeper. In 30 days, your subconscious will accept it. And once accepted, your life will bend to fulfill it. Andrew Carnegie once told me that if a man writes down his definite aim, speaks it with gratitude daily, and persists until his subconscious accepts it, nothing on earth can prevent him from achieving it. This sentence is the very embodiment of that instruction. It is the condensed philosophy of success, placed in the palm of your hand. Henry Ford lived by this spirit. Long before the Model T appeared, he spoke of it as though present. He declared to friends, to investors, to himself, that he would build a car for the masses. Critics laughed, but his subconscious obeyed. His words engraved law upon his mind, and his actions followed until the world yielded. Thomas Edison also used this principle. He told his assistants, even after countless failures, that the invention was inevitable. He said it as though certain, as though already present. That conviction seeped into his subconscious, drove his persistence, silenced doubt, and delivered triumph. He spoke as though it was, and at last it was. Affirm again, I am so happy and grateful that I have the object of my definite chief aim now. Thank God I made it. Repeat it morning and night. Write it upon paper. Place it where your eyes must see it. Speak it aloud with faith. For words written may fade, but words spoken with feeling engrave law upon the hidden mind. The drifting man will scoff. He will say, that cannot be enough. It is too simple. He will laugh, and he will remain as he is. But the decisive man will obey. He will repeat it faithfully, and in 30 days he will feel the change begin. In 90 days his life will bend to match. In a year the sentence will have carried him into a new destiny. This is the moment of revelation. The formula is no longer withheld. It is yours. Treat it not as a phrase, but as a covenant with your destiny. Repeat it with reverence, with faith, with gratitude. For by it you command your subconscious. And by commanding the subconscious, you command your life. Now that the sentence has been placed in your hands, I command you to prove it by the simplest of tests. For 30 days, without exception, repeat it morning and night. Write it, read it, speak it, and feel it until your subconscious accepts it as law. 30 days is not long, but it is long enough to separate the drifter from the achiever, the weak from the strong. Understand this, the law does not fail. If you give the test half effort, you will reap half results. If you give excuses, you will reap excuses. If you give obedience, you will reap destiny. The man who cannot govern his lips for 30 days is unfit to govern wealth. But the man who masters this ritual will begin to feel a power stirring within him that no critic can silence. The first days will be the hardest. Between day 1 and day 5, you will hear the whispers of doubt. The devil will say, this is foolish. It is childish. It will not work. Your old subconscious commands will resist. They will try to cling to the language of fear, poverty, and hesitation. Expect this resistance. It is proof that the law is working. Between day 6 and day 15,